Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? It is Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means it's time for the Relic Grind. Ready Check Radio's Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix podcast. I'm your host, Mike Byrne. As always, we've got a lot to go through today. Some stuff on the Final Fantasy XIV front. And then it just seems like gaff after gaff after gaff for some of Square Enix's other titles. So we'll take a look at exactly what's going on there. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify, make sure you head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com. That's RAIDEO.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, click all those socials, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Follow it all. Subscribe to it all. And, you know, whatever. Tell your friends. Turn on notifications. You know how the social media stuff works. Go ahead and do it. Because if you want more shows like this and shows about other things, I keep getting requests for other shows. People got to watch the ones we have first. Yeah. Click it. Click, 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 click. And then stop on by, of course, because we're always doing the show live. Chat is with us. Hanging out, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. Ready to go. Also ready to go on the line to talk about Square Enix fun stuff. Mr. Chris Montoya, a.k.a. Tarkoth. What's up, sir?
Greeting programs. I'm tired. It's been a long couple days for me. I'm happy to be here. A lot of weird side stuff going on with Square Enix this week.
Yeah, kind of weird. Like, they stepped out of E3 and, you know, made a couple gaffes here and there. The show wasn't generally well received by just about anybody. And then this week, the oddball Square Enix news just keeps flowing. And yeah, we'll get to it. It's fun. Also here to talk about it, Mr. Adam Lane, a.k.a. Kronos. What's up?
I was told this is the fighting game podcast, right?
I see the stick in the background. You've been playing a lot of Strive, huh?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good game. I like it a lot. But yeah, I mean today's Square Enix stuff. But.
You're a little
if only Dissidia NT was as good as Strive, right?
That's like barely a fighting game.
I bought Dissidia, not for Dissidia. So
for cards.
I did.
Yeah, I know.
I bought Dissidia because it had promo cards for Final Fantasy TCG in it, and that was the only way to get those promo cards for a long time. Long time.
Then they handed it out like candy.
Yeah, now they give them out like candy. But I have OGs. And I have a pretty nice steelbook, but I also have a shitty game, so I don't like who won there. I don't know.
Hey, it's all about priorities.
Square won.
Your priorities are in order, though. That's what matters.
Yeah, I never got into Dissidia. Like, I always was like, this is kind of neat. Like, I did play the tutorials and stuff. But I was like, you know what? I would love a lot more time just single player, offline, fighting AI. And they were like, no. Get your ass online and play other people. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go put these cards in sleeves now and put this game on the fucking shelf. That's where it goes. Anyway. Final Fantasy XIV. Not a ton of news, but we do have some news, gentlemen, on this front. 557 is now live. We are inching ever closer to the 6.0, but 557 is live. And in addition to some fixes and some, you know, balancings and stuff like that, you know, the typical, we're going to start balancing things a little bit as we lead into 6.0. There were a few biggies here, but nothing atypical, right? There's nothing atypical. These are all the things that typically happen in the .57, the .58, and hell, we may even end up with a .59, the way it's looking as far as when the data centers, world data centers get transfers or you know, visits and stuff will go live, because that's looking, they said sometime between September and November. So we'll see if we end up with a 5.9. But 5.7 Eden Savage rewards, the weekly reward lockout is removed, par for the course. Every boss will drop 2 coffers. We'll also get the Echo and Paradigm's Breach added to Alliance Raid Roulette. So, I mean, if you still need to farm some Savage gear at this point, and I'm sure we all do on different alts and things like that, now's a perfect time to go ahead and do it, Tark. And you've literally got months to do it.
Yeah, months and months and months. We've knocked out 5 or 6 runs just the other night. We're gonna probably just do another set of 8 for books and stuff. But after that, we're setting aside Eden, and we'll be done with it.
So what's that mean as far as your guild? Like, what are you guys gonna do for a while?
Well, we still have mounts to farm up. At the end of each expansion, we pool together and we come and do all the mount grinding. Because you get the drops a little bit easier, and you got the gear to grind out things easier. So we're getting our mounts. After that, probably take like a 4-month break.
Yeah, because you kind of have a bigger gap than normal.
Yeah,
right
bigger
now
gap
in this one. So, you might have personal things to do, but like even in World of Warcraft, right? Until this coming Tuesday, our guild was basically on a raiding break for the last month and a half because of an extra time in between things. So, yeah, free companies, I bet, doing the same thing. What about you, Kronos? Everybody mopped up and done with Savage? You guys get your initial clears in early and then put it on farm not too long after that. So you've probably been done except for like 3rd and 4th string alts at this point for a while.
I even got those done for the most part. We didn't really stop doing weekly clears until a couple weeks back. And then the last couple weeks, we've been taking a new person that's never done Savage before through like the fights and teaching them how to do it.
Oh, that's fun.
So that's been kind of fun. And now that the lockouts are done, like it'll be even easier. But I haven't really been playing the game too much, to be honest. I've been trying to kind of slowly get away. Like I can't even do the mount grind stuff like Tark's FC is doing because I already have all those mounts. But that's a good idea, just to wait until the thing. But I don't know. I want him in my hand now. It's kind of how I am. So.
You say like you're taking a break, like you're backing away from it. No, you just switched. You just switched from one brand of crack to the next is what happened.
Well, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Yeah. You just trade one drug for the next drug, and then you just keep moving on with life. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll give you a few minutes here. What are you thinking about Strive? I know you've been tweeting and on Facebook.
Yes.
Like I'm friends with you and all of it. So I'm like, oh, there goes another Strive Facebook post. Okay, give us the lowdown here.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's if you've ever played like old Guilty Gears, like it has like a lot of the characters that people really like. They definitely like made it a lot easier, tried to make it more accessible, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't, like you can't play it like a super high level and learn a lot of more complicated stuff. But it's pretty easy to like just get in there and mash buttons and feel like you're doing something. It's kind of fun. Looks pretty. If you're like a big anime fan, there's like a 5 or 6 hour story mode where you just watch a movie essentially. So if you're into like the lore stuff, but I'm just there to play the game online for the most part, and it's probably got the best online I've ever seen for any fighting game. And you can play pretty much people across the world, which is pretty awesome. So
it's not Square Enix, but if I didn't give him a few minutes, he would have bursted. He would have exploded. He would have exploded.
You needed to talk about his new addiction. Come on,
right? It's cheaper than putting up another show just so he can do it. Reductions to costs. This was kind of like the big one, right? There was some reductions to costs of things in Queens, and then also an increase to the Delibrum Regione drops up from 1 to 3. So the Relic Grind, if you're doing it, this is normally the time that I'll consider doing it. At the end of these patches, I just don't care enough for the couple different points. As we go, so I may do it on 1 or 2 of my classes. I'm not gonna like polish everybody off, but this is a perfect time. Again, you have months, and now the Relic Grind is exponentially faster for those of you that want to get your first, or again, just like we were talking about with Eden Savage, knock out those alternate classes. Not that all of them are worth it cosmetic-wise. Some of them are downright hideous, but a good time to knock those out. Tark, have you been picking it up for your alternate classes?
I finished it on my main.
Oh, you still haven't finished on your main? You're lazy like me.
I just I'm at the point where you're either grinding out fates in Heaven's Word of Stormblood, or you're doing the Void Arc series or Evilly series, and I just can't get myself to just grind that out. So I'm close to finishing that step though. So
how many did you end up?
It's easier.
How many did you end up with, Kronos?
4. I had 4. But this is the grindiest step that they nerfed.
Yeah.
So outside of the ones you only have to do once. So like the ones that Tark's talking about with like the evil Easter eggs, those do take a little bit, but those are like one shots.
Yeah,
and once
and
you do it
those
for
ones
one
haven't
class,
gotten any faster. Nothing's changed
Yeah.
on that front.
Yeah, but this is the worst repeatable step, and so now it's way faster. I mean, 3 times faster, obviously. So makes it a lot better.
Tombstones, the cap is off. Again, these all feel. It's weird because these feel early. These feel earlier than normal, but that's only if you look at how far away we are from the expansion, not how far the expansion is from us. And these aren't happening earlier than normal. There's just more time between now and the expansion. So the entire cap is not removed. It's been doubled. That's step one. We go from 450 to 900. You still have the 900 cap, so you can gain twice as many Tombstones of Revelation. The 2,000 max hold cap is obviously still in place too. But as far as the cap might as well be gone at that point. When you start hitting 900 this late in it, nobody's, unless you're playing catch up, getting ready, and you weren't there when it first launched and stuff like that. For all intents and purposes, the 900 cap means there's no cap.
This would be good for all those new WoW people coming in. They don't have to worry about 450 caps, and you can get more gear faster.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
There we go, right?
They're all leaving Tuesday.
That's true. That's right.
9.1 drops on Tuesday, and wow.
Yeah, suckers.
So all the WoW fans will go away for a little bit, and then they'll come back. And you know what? There is nothing wrong with that. Nope. I actually love that these two are kind of offset right now. It is ideal for me, personally, as somebody that actively plays both in a raiding sense, not just like, hey, I jump into MMOs here and there. I love having them kind of offset right now. Totally works for me. The kind of like new thing, brand new thing in this patch that we didn't even really know was coming is the Visit Another World server option. And if you haven't seen this, it's now on your character select screen, where if your server is full, and it's going to be a while, overpopulated, you can actually select to visit another world server so that you can jump into the game instantly. And then when your world becomes available, you'll be sent back to your world. Now, you don't have the choice. This is not like I can go visit Kronos on his server or go visit a friend on their server. That is not what's going on here. It's going to send you to a random one, whichever server can take a player at the time. But a really nifty way around queues, Kronos. I really like this and kind of wish we would have had this for a while now, but obviously the new data center technology is what's kind of driving these additional features.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It'll be really nice. Well, I mean, by the time we get the expansion, we'll have more added onto this, right? But it'll be really nice when the expansion drops, right? Because you're gonna have those long, really long queues, and so I'm kind of curious to see how it affects other people's servers actually, because like a server like mine usually has like a way less like queue, like less people in their queue rather than like a Gilgamesh or something like that on like day one of an expansion. So I'm interested to see how it affects that later down the road. But it's a really cool addition. I'm looking forward to seeing like how they add on to it and what I'm able to do when I actually like travel. I haven't been able to do this myself. I haven't really tried. So, but I think it's really cool.
Do either of your servers have queues? Just generally have queues?
Yeah, I say like after I get off work, if I try to log in, it's like 10 to 20 people typically.
Yeah, that's mine too. Like I have a queue every single time, no matter when I log in, but it's usually only like 10 to 30 people. And I'm there for whatever, 45 seconds to a minute and a half, and I'm in. Tark, do you have queues on your server just even now?
It's never not had a queue for logging in. It's always been 15 to 20, and it's been that way since the beginning of the expansion. I don't think that's ever gone away.
Yeah.
And it might just be a buffering thing just to make sure that's not jammed.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like it has to be, right? Or otherwise this feature means nothing. Like if every server has 10 to 30 person queues at all times, then you can't just randomly jump into another world. So I tend to agree with you on that. And that's it. I mean, the 557, the .5X's aren't all that big to begin with, but with the exception of, .55 usually completing the storyline. But all the stuff we expect, if you want to get some farming in, now is the time to do it, whether it's the final steps of the relic, whether it's the savages, whether it's tombstones so that you can glamour shit up or get that gear for alternate classes. Now is the time, and you have plenty of it. Speaking of gear and glamour, though, you can now pre-order in Japan the Eorzea collection for 2021. And some of you might not even know what this is if you're not paying attention to the Japanese merchandise on the Square Enix website. So this is, imagine like the old Sears catalogs. Now, I don't personally...
Sears, JCPenney's. Yeah.
I don't personally remember getting the Sears catalogs. I am not that old. I just know what they were.
Sure.
If you got those catalogs and you flip through the merchandise, right, real thick. I do remember like the Hills toy catalog for Christmas that always came out from Hills, if anybody remembers that company. Yes, that's Hills is where the toys are, Tark. That's
okay.
Hills is where the
Toys R Us?
No.
Big, thick Toys R Us catalog?
Nah, fuck Toys R Us.
All right.
That shit was too expensive. Toys R Us, dude, I grew up so poor, man. You have no idea.
How poor were you?
How poor was I? Toys R Us was expensive. It still is, the 5 stores that are open. Yeah, so Hills. Anyway, big catalog of just all their merchandise, their different departments and everything. Well, the Eorzea collection, if you don't know, is pretty much that. Except it is for glamour and furnishings. And so whatever has been released in the game, here's a catalog of it for you. As a collector, this one still has me scratching my head a little bit. Excuse me, got the hiccups. Like, I obviously collect the books, the CDs, like everything. Even I am kind of like, what the hell would I do with this? Like, what would I do with this? It's a question mark purchase for me, even as a collector, Tark, if I could get my hands on it. You seem to love it, though. You just, not only clothing, but it's all like the furnishings, too, like what furnishings came out that year. And
that would be cool to have on the coffee table, I think.
On the coffee table?
Yeah.
Your neighbors, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. I don't care. I'm a nerd.
Your neighbors over for a party. You're like, what's this? You're like, oh, that's all the outfits and furnishings that came out this year.
I am not ashamed of my nerddom. I show up proud.
No, there's a difference between not being ashamed and just being a downright fool, man. Come on. You're like, oh, hey, take a look at the 2021 Eorzea collection. Look at these Look at the tabletop items that were released in December. They were fantastic.
Yeah. Look at my aquarium. But what about the stuff? What about real life? It doesn't matter. The game, what's in the game is most important.
They're like, oh, can you buy this stuff in real life? You're like, no. They're like, well, I don't understand. Is it a catalog? It's a catalog. Yes. Yeah. Of things that are released, clothing and stuff. Yes. But you can't buy it. No.
You can buy some of it on the Mog Station.
No, you can't buy it. Can't buy it. This one right here, you got to do some badass Savage runs over and over and over to get that. Wait, what the hell's a Savage run? Don't worry about it. Look at these tabletop items right here. Whoa, the MGP I spent on that. The what?
What the fuck is MGP?
Yeah, exactly. Just have your neighbors flipping through it.
No problem nerding out.
I don't know. It's neat. It's neat, but I can't. Like, even as a collector, Kronos, I don't think what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really for me either. But I guess like the super like housing enthusiast people, there's a lot of people in the game like that's what they do. I could see them like buying that stuff, or like the people. I mean, there's like YouTube channels dedicated to glamour.
Oh, 100%.
Stuff like that.
100%.
And I use stuff like this that's available on the internet to like kind of see what I want to glamour on my character. Like I'll be like, okay, I kind of like that hat and that chest piece, but I'm not gonna buy a magazine. Like,
you know what? You don't want to do it the old-fashioned way? How are we going to glamour today? Let's go to the shelf.
I really like technology, so pulling out a catalog and trying to figure out my glamour doesn't sound like it appeals to me. But I think people will buy it. Just won't be me. But like
people definitely buy it. It sells out every year. Yeah, it sells out every year. So they're not going to have it. They're not going to have any problem moving units on this one.
No.
But yeah, it's up for pre-order if you're in Japan. Last thing on Final Fantasy XIV, the Twitch drop campaign has begun. That started just a few hours ago. If you don't know what it is, this is going to be running from now until August 24th, so you have 2 months to take advantage of this starting now. Head on over to the Lodestone and check out the posting. There are a number of content creators in English, French, German, Spanish, and Finnish. One in Finnish, but multiples in the other ones, including friends of the show here, Ethis, Mr. Happy, people like that. They are partners for this. If you are looking to pick up the Fat Black Chocobo, because you didn't get it previously, or you were in an area where it wasn't available previously, and you want some grand firecrackers, of which I tweeted out an image of them from Ready Check Radio's account a few hours ago, so you can see what those look like. Head to your streamer of choice's Twitch channel while they are streaming Final Fantasy XIV, and gift 1 sub to the channel to get the fireworks, and a total of 4 subs to net yourself the Chocobo. Once you make the donation, once you make the gifting of subs, it'll show up as a Twitch message to your Twitch account, giving you both keys, and you can redeem the keys on any account. Now, obviously, you can only claim keys once per Twitch account, so if you have, family that plays, or like in my case, or if you have multiple accounts, you'll need to make multiple Twitch accounts if you want to claim these keys for all of your Square Enix accounts. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that I really, really like about this promotion, and then one thing that I really, really don't like about it. The thing I don't like about it, I don't think I am alone in this one from feedback I've been seeing. It is not exactly the most diverse crowd of streamers or content creators that Square partnered. Now, to be fair, they have said that they are going to be adding more to this list as the event goes on. So maybe that will be rectified. I will withhold judgment on that. But it is not exactly the most diverse group of individuals. That is not an impugnment on any of the individuals. That's an impugnment on Square, not exactly pulling from a wide swath of the Final Fantasy XIV community. The thing I do like about this is that it 100% gives back to the streaming content creating community for the game. I'm going to share with you, Happy runs, usually Mr. Happy runs at anywhere from about 1,000 to 1,200 subs at any given time. He started today with a little over 1,100 subs. Within an hour and a half to 2 hours after this event went live, and I was over on his channel watching it unfold, he hit 11,000 subscribers. 11,000 subscribers. That is a big check. And it's not, it is day one of this thing. It is day one of this thing.
Wow.
So you've got to love the spotlight that Square is providing its content creators right here. It's a boon to every single one of their channels. You are linked on the Lodestone directly to your Twitch page. This costs you as the streamer nothing. In many cases, you were probably going to be playing Final Fantasy XIV anyway for these types of creators, so it literally costs them nothing as a streamer to do this. I should note that you don't have to gift all 4 subs at once. You can do it cumulatively over the event if you've got budgeting and you want to do 1 per week or whatever you want to do, but you have to do it while they're in the Final Fantasy XIV Twitch room. If they're streaming something else, wait. Wait, they'll come back. Chances are for the next 2 months, none of them's going to be streaming anything else. So I don't think you'll have to worry. But I wouldn't go to sleep, right? We're going to play Final Fantasy XIV. It's been 48 hours, but let's just do it. But yeah, if you have the black chocobo, the fat black chocobo, which I already did, toss the key when you claim it on your account to an alternate character, or don't redeem the key. give it to a friend because it's not something you can have two of, and it is not marketable or sellable or anything like that. So all in all, I give the event a thumbs up. I hope the crowd becomes a little more diverse, Kronos. But again, they've said they're going to be adding people, so we'll withhold judgment on that for the moment.
Yeah, my only worry is like the longer you wait, like they don't really get the same boon that other people get. Because I think we're gonna see these numbers, like they're gonna spike like Mr. Happy, and I'm happy for him. That's pretty awesome that happened. And,
dude, absolutely,
and it's gonna help
deserved it.
100%. And all these other channels that are getting it. But the longer they wait to add people to this, the less they kind of get back from it, and it would really help some of like the smaller streamers. Because I mean, like our community on Twitch isn't like the biggest. It's okay. Like Mr. Happy, and then they have big communities. But like some people that have smaller ones could use the help too. And I kind of feel bad for them. But I think overall,
I mean, there's a great
idea.
channel, Ready Check Raideo.
Yeah, exactly.
They do a 14 podcast. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they could have benefited. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Tarkoth Gaming. Yeah. Kronos, you're doing fighting games, but I don't think we could twist your arm into doing some 14, right?
I think if you told me I was gonna get 11,000 subs, I'd probably log right on right now.
Yep.
I'll refarm all the mounts.
Start a new character. We're gonna stream for 2 straight months, getting every mount, every single mount. All in all, I think it's a great event, though, Tark. Yeah. Whoever thought it up behind the scenes, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Yoshi P. Right? This has the dev team's name all over it. I especially love that it feels on brand, too. Like, if World of Warcraft did this, you'd be like, they're just trying to gain favor. They're just trying to gain back favor. But this feels a little more on brand. And I'm not saying Blizz shouldn't. I think it'd be great. Anything that these companies do to give back to their own communities, I'm all for. But some companies have that, this isn't really like them. I wonder what's causing this. That isn't the case here with Square Enix. This feels very on brand for 14.
Doesn't that tell you something about the state of the two companies in general? Like,
I don't mean to specifically like point out Blizzard there.
I understand
as much as I did
but the
in my example.
The overall thought is that Blizz has a PR problem. You know, they PR to hear themselves talk, where I feel Square Enix, at least for Final Fantasy XIV, does PR for the community. So I love this idea. You're right, though. There's a couple. I mean, I don't see work to game on here at all. So.
I like, as much as I love work to game, Ginger's a dear friend of mine behind the scenes too. That would have been to me another white guy. Like, so, I mean,
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
that would have been, hey, look, there's another white guy.
But yeah, don't go to Tarkov Gaming. Don't give me any subs. I'm not on this list. It's okay. It's fine. I'll be okay.
I'm not on the list either. But if you want to sub, go ahead. What's funny is too that you could tell this happened because of the 14 team and not because of Square Enix as a whole. Because if you've watched the last 2 weeks, Square Enix cannot do PR right at all. They just can't. And we're going to get into why here. But let's start with some good news. Well, maybe good news because we still don't have absolute confirmation of this yet. But apparently there is a Final Fantasy IX animated series in the works. Cyber Group, a French studio, kind of let it slip that they're teaming with Square Enix to make this animated series based on Final Fantasy IX. Now, it's supposed to be in production by the end of this year, beginning of next year, for release in mid to late next year. Not confirmed by Square yet, but a very weird thing to have leaked if it's not true. So I'm going to put this one in the probably true category for myself. And while I love to see Final Fantasy IX get some love here, I don't know if it's going to be what a lot of fans want it to be. And that's not because I think it's going to be done poorly or anything, Kronos. It'll probably be, very wonderful and beautiful, right? But it's specifically targeting a certain demographic, children 8 to 13. So kids that have probably no experience with 9 and maybe not a lot of Final Fantasy experience as a whole to try and bring them into the franchise. I really like the idea. I think it's great, and I think it'll be a wonderful animated series, but I'm kind of tempered as far as, like, how is this going to be Castlevania on Netflix for me? Probably not. So Final Fantasy fans, let's settle down a little bit. This is going to be geared towards your 8-year-old, not to your 40-year-old self.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the main reason they picked 9 too, right? Because 9 seems
Makes
to kind of
sense.
cater toward there. Like you can't really do that with like 7 or 6. You know, like they're a little bit more like stories are more on the mature side. Where like not that 9 doesn't have some elements of that, but you can definitely just like clip those or like edit those out and go a different direction because the characters themselves kind of play toward that. One thing I will say about like that age group though is I watch a lot of comic book cartoons, right? Even like more modern ones, and they also gear toward that age group. That doesn't mean that, and like there won't be some cool stuff there for like adults that are
100%.
fans of the series. But like you said, it won't be like Castlevania where we're gonna get some like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like super adult, hardcore, like gory version of Final Fantasy. They're gonna tell the story. It's definitely not gonna be that. It's gonna be more similar to like your cartoon Avengers or Spider-Man kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, SpongeBob is geared towards that age group, but we all sometimes have those episodes of SpongeBob that we're like, if that episode's on, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
So that's not to say that there's not going to be something to enjoy here, Tark, but temper a little bit here, realizing that you aren't the primary demographic as a Final Fantasy nut already to begin with, and B, somebody that's probably beaten 9 a couple of times, and C, you're in your 30s or 40s. So, yeah, you're not the audience. This is trying to grow a new audience. Now, interestingly, though, Cyber Group Tark is also handling the distribution, licensing, and merchandise. They're going to sell themselves a lot of VV plushies. A lot.
I wonder where mine went. I need to find that. But yeah, the merch, awesome. They get those rights. That's cool.
Pretty sweet. I think, Tark, what do you think? I put this in the probably true column. It doesn't have absolute confirmation, but it's just too weird and specific to not be true, I don't think.
And just kind of out of nowhere. So I'm giving it a good 95% that it's true. And again, there's no reason for this not to also include adults to a degree. I mean, look at Toy Story. I mean, yeah, that's geared towards kids, but it has enough in there for adults to have a good time too.
Indeed. We're also getting a Legend or a Mana series stream. So the Legend of Mana came out today. Did anybody have a chance to play it yet? I did not.
I haven't yet.
I'm probably going to check it out this weekend. The Legend of Mana Remaster. That came out today for those of you that forgot. So we'll probably talk a little bit about it next show. Won't be a huge, piece, but we'll chat if any of us have played it by then. What is a little surprising, though, is that Square on Sunday is going to be holding a live stream to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Mana series. And why is that interesting? Well, one, I love the Mana series, and it's my show, so back off. 2, the way they said what they're going to stream might be teasing something that we don't know about yet. So this it says this stream will cover both the past and the future of the Mana series. It will start by going through the series history from Final Fantasy Adventure to the latest remaster of Legend of Mana, which would have been released by the stream, comes out today. Participants will then deliver new information related to the future of the Mana series after its 30th anniversary. I mean, it's got to be a new game, Kronos, right? I mean, it's a video game series. We're getting a new Mana game, aren't we?
I don't think there's any way you do this entire stream setup to that just this. I mean, it's a great thing to celebrate, but I don't think you do all this stuff and you hype it up to not announce something.
Exactly.
Yeah. The empty promotion, like, oh yeah, we did all this streaming and that's it. Okay, thanks for coming by, seeing the history.
Yeah.
You got to put something at the end.
Congrats, you're 30 years old. Here's the remaster that we released 3 days ago. By the time this stream goes live, it'll have been 3 days ago. I'm kind of excited, man. There is not a Mana game that I don't like, Tark. That's not to say that they're all, 9s and 10s out of 10s. But as far as me enjoying them, I have enjoyed every single one. I'm also kind of scared they might screw it up. Like,
well, there's always that chance, right?
Yeah. But this is a pretty substantial part of my childhood to be fucking with right now.
This is true. Hey, but even if this new one is bad, you still have those old games to go back to and enjoy.
I do. And now I have a remaster. Well, I will have a remaster when I pick it up tomorrow with Mario Golf. Mario Golf is tomorrow. That's what I'll be streaming on my Ready Check stream. 7 p.m. Eastern, Friday, tomorrow, if you want to hang out and play some Mario Golf.
Is there any Mana games they haven't remade yet? Or like re-released in some way? I'm just trying to think if there's another remaster coming.
Well, I mean, they didn't do the Adventures ones, did they?
Didn't they like port them to like the Switch or whatever? Even though they're like
the
same.
Yeah, you're right.
The only one I can think of is I think there was like Sword of Mana on the GBA or something. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be a new game, and I think it's gonna be. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best, but Square Enix track record lately is.
I want them to redo Secret of Evermore because it was kind of a.
Well, that's different series.
Yeah, that's a different series, but it borrowed a lot from Secret of Mana.
Well, the combat system mainly. Yeah, they're very similar in the combat system. I still have my Secret of Evermore. I still have all these carts, but.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, so we talked about Outriders doing pretty well, right? A little while ago, millions, and Square Enix was pleasantly surprised, and we're calling it, basically a new IP that they were going to do some more with. But apparently, I've often speculated more on Gaming Gumbo than on this show that as much as I absolutely love the Xbox Game Pass, I have doubts as to its long-term viability as a profitable business engine. Now, obviously, the service itself makes money off the subs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on the revenue box unit side, how many box units does having it free on that service dig into? Now, Xbox and Microsoft have come forward and said it's a huge moneymaker for us and it doesn't dig into that at all, but you would expect Microsoft to say that, right?
Yeah.
It's their product, and things come and go from the Game Pass. You still have to buy a product if you want to keep it forever. That it's all still there. But now we get Square Enix saying a little bit on this topic when it comes to Outriders. And remember, Outriders only released on the Xbox Game Pass, not the PC Game Pass. So you could play it on your Xbox account, but if you wanted to play it on PC, you had to go to Steam. It was not free via Game Pass on the PC. Square had this to say. In regards to the response to Outriders, while there were slight issues with bugs and the like on launch, slight issues with bugs and the like on launch. Yeah, they were slight and it was only on launch, sure. We believe it has gotten off to a good start as a new IP. This coming from Square Enix president Yosuke Matsuda. During the full year financials. Now, this was back in May. In addition, we have been pleasantly surprised as the digital sales ratio for the titles have been very high, and the number of active users has also beaten our expectations. We believe that our decision to make Outriders available with Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass as soon as the title launched also worked in our favor to build an installed base for the game. Now, no doubt, something like Game Pass obviously builds a user base very, very quickly. So I'm not surprised to hear them say that, Tark. What I am surprised to say is that their digital sales ratio was also of pleasant surprise to them, which maybe says long-term, Xbox Game Pass sells units. It doesn't cost units. Maybe.
But they're not going to show us those figures, so
no,
we
not
can
at all.
only
Not
guess. So
not at all.
Yeah, I guess we just have to take Square's word for it. If they're happy, I'm happy. Awesome. If this is going to be their next big IP, their next franchise that they're going to keep going for years on end, awesome. I don't know how this goes forward with Game Pass, but if they're happy, I'm happy.
Kronos, surprised that they seem to indicate that the digital sales ratio was surprising for them.
I mean, no, maybe have a different feeling about Game Pass, but a lot of people that I talk to like still end up like if they really like it, they'll still grab it. So I mean, I think it works for what it is. I think it's great. I don't own an Xbox, and I try to get all my stuff on Steam, so I don't really partake. But yeah, no, I'm not really like shocked by this. I don't think. I think also Outriders, even through all the bugs and stuff, like generally was well received by
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So
I my concern is not so much that the big titles are going to lose sales for like I expect Outriders to have a good digital sales ratio. The game was well received, it was generally positive. It's Square Enix, there was a lot of hype going into it. Let's cast aside like issues with games, right? But if Marvel's Avengers had gone on Xbox Game Pass, I would have expected their sales to be, just as huge as they were. If Cyberpunk, again, set issues aside, like when you have titles like that, I expect that Game Pass doesn't really dig into sales because, like you said, hey, I'll play it on Game Pass and then I'm going to buy it next week instead of this week because when it goes off of Game Pass, I still want to own it. What I think is the more detriment is those others, like the B, the C, the D tier games, the ones made by, Tark in his garage and is a very, very good game. And he thinks Game Pass could help him get some exposure, and it will help him get exposure. But in that case, it's probably going to eat into a lot of your sales too, Tark.
And that's the deal I signed up for. But it's to get eyes on my tiny little garage game.
Is your garage game any good? Like, what are you doing these days with it?
No, God, no. I tried to make a ripoff of 14, and it's not working out well at all.
I tried to make a one-man ripoff of 14. He's been programming since he was 3. He's got another 40 years to go.
I've been trying to get 6 cities to work, and it's just not working well.
I'm learning 3D rendering of stuff.
So maybe I can bring you on.
Yeah, I got
volunteer basis.
I'm gonna make a flower pot for you, but it's gonna take me a while. I need a lot of polygons.
I need each pot to have like 1 million polygons, please.
Right.
Okay,
but the characters only need 8. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
have not, and we already talked about this on stream. I think last show that I'm not going to be playing this for a while. But have either of you played / finished the Yuffie DLC for Final Fantasy VII now?
No. So I don't have my PS5 in hand yet. It's like in the mail.
So you're waiting. Okay.
I haven't played it yet, but I've already spoiled myself. But I have not played myself yet. So.
Tark, we know you started it, right? Did you finish it?
I totally forgot about it. Like, no lie. I totally forgot about it. Made a big deal, what was it, a couple shows ago?
Yeah, you did.
About downloading it, and I just totally forgot about
it. Dumbass. All right, let us know. Just want to.
The name's Dumas.
Yeah, Dumas. That's Count the money. It's Demonet. Generally being received very well. Just wanted to get your opinions on it. Also, though, if you're waiting for this one on PC, again, we'll put some percentages on this. There's been a little bit of a leak. Both Final Fantasy VII Remake and Alan Wake Remastered might be headed to the PC, but maybe not where you want it.
Yeah.
It's on, the leak is that it'll be on Epic's digital storefront, Epic Games. That comes from Epic Data. That's a website dedicated to tracking all of the updates to the Epic Game Store. And they found Alan Wake under the codename Heron Staging, while Final Fantasy VII Remake was filed under Pineapple. But even with those code names, you were able to find the titles in the Custom Attributes Cloud Save folder. So, here's the thing, though. The Alan Wake Remastered entry was apparently made back in 2019, and the Final Fantasy VII Remake entry into the database was made in 2020. They have been updated through this year, though. So, odds on the Epic Game Store snagging Final Fantasy VII Remake, how true do you think this leak is? We all put like the Final Fantasy IX TV show at like 90-95% true. Where do you go with this one, Tark?
Oh, I'm gonna let Kronos go first.
No, I went to you first, sucker.
My question is it gonna be this is how you get it on PC exclusive?
No, that'll be question number 2. I'm just asking right now how true do you think this is?
75%?
75? Kronos, where are you going?
True.
I'm gonna go 90.
I'm going 90 to 100 as well. Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts. This happened to Kingdom Hearts too. And,
yeah. Okay.
So I think this is gonna follow suit. And Kingdom Hearts is still, for some reason, Epic Game Store exclusive. I don't know why that's the decision, but
money.
That's where they're going.
And that's where question number 2 comes in. By the way, if you've never played Alan Wake and you did play Control and you liked Control, you probably should go back and play Alan Wake when it comes out. That's just a side personal note, by the way.
I love Alan Wake. The music in that game is killer.
I love Alan Wake, and I loved Control. There are so many Alan Wake nods in Control that you'll go back and play Alan Wake and then go play Control again. Yeah. Anyway, so the other question becomes, just like Kingdom Hearts, and I'm only interested in the Final Fantasy VII portion. We can let go of Alan Wake now. The Final Fantasy VII Remake portion, is it Epic exclusive? Or does it also come to other platforms, a.k.a. Steam? I'll go first on this one, and then we'll throw it to Kronos, and Tark will give you last on this one since I made you go first on the other. Kronos, you're in the middle both times. There is a part of me that thinks they just might snag this as an exclusive. And if they do, wow, what a coup that will have been. Like, to sneak in with nobody knowing and grab the 7 remake, the PC version of the 7 remake. I want to say no. I want to say that Square probably wants this on Steam and Epic, and basically anybody that wants to sell it, they want to get it out there because it's going to sell a shit ton of units. The problem is, I would have thought the same thing with Kingdom Hearts 2, but Epic threw enough money to make Square go, oh yeah, that's exactly the price we're willing to do this for. I'm going to put it on, I think, Tark, I'm going to steal your percentage, but for this one, I'm going to go a little lower than 75, though. I'm going to go 70% chance that this is an Epic Game Store exclusive at this point on the PC. As much as I don't like that, I have a feeling that Epic is just, it's all-out war right now for them with these titles, and they just aren't afraid to lose hundreds of millions of dollars for the next X years to do it. What about you, Kronos?
I'm going to go really hot. I'm going to say, if this is true, like, because assuming the 90% is true,
Right.
I think there's a 99% chance that this is an Epic exclusive. I don't know. I don't know, like, because, like, Kingdom Hearts baffles me, right? Like, they had to have thrown some absurd amount. I don't know if that ever became public or anything, but the fact that that's not on Steam, to me, says a lot. And I think with these newer titles now, I think Epic's doing something to get Square's business on that. Because, like, literally, now they're going to give me a reason to open the Epic Game Store again. I don't really care about that thing. I only like to open Steam if I have to. I have stuff on there, but if they do this, like, I'll be on there. So I think it's going to be exclusive. I really do.
Tark?
I'm with you, Kronos. If this is on Epic, I'm putting it like 95 to 100%, somewhere in that range. I'm thinking, especially they've documented it with the war they're having with Apple, that they're just losing a bunch of money. They trying to get an install base on their game store. They need people to come. This is an absolute win if they have it, and they probably shelled out. They probably backed up a truck to SE and like, give us F7. You can have this truck and everything in it.
Yeah. You know what? Even though I'm only going 70, I don't have a valid argument against both of you choosing 99%. Besides, my heart won't let me go to 99%.
Hey, man, feels icky. I want it to be on Steam too, because I having it all in one place, I like that. And if it's not going to be there, that makes me a little sad. But I just feel like it's going to be there only.
All right, now we kind of start getting into Square having a very weird week.
Yep.
As we finish up the show today. Marvel's Avengers has a new update that has a competition event, a new event in there. That started, I believe, today I think it started today. I don't know. Whatever. If you're playing, cool. Enjoy your event. If you were playing on the PS5 a few days ago, there was a little patch too that, fixed some stuff and then went ahead and gave away your IP address.
Oh, I thought doxing was the event. That's not the event? I'm confused.
Apparently, the patch, when it rains, it pours, right? Apparently, the patch flashed a series of numbers on your screen while playing that included information about you and your IP address. Your actual IP address floating in a string of text on the screen that, by the way, if you were streaming the game from your PlayStation 5 was clearly visible. You couldn't even mask it, really, because it didn't show up in the same area on your screen at all times. In some areas, it would be at the bottom. In a different zone, it might be in the upper left corner. It was never in the center covering the action, but it was just kind of floating around. And as this was unfolding, watching the Twitter was astounding. Astounding. From the Marvel Avengers Twitter, they tweet on the 22nd, this patch has gone live with the Cosmic Cube event that I referenced earlier. A few hours later, a little while later, they tweet out, we're aware of the issue where a floating string of text appears on the screen, and we are investigating. Thank you for the reports. That was at 11:40 a.m. my time. Almost an hour later, please refrain from streaming for now if you're experiencing this issue. We will update when the issue has been resolved. Now, all throughout this time, they are not acknowledging what is going on. It's already been reported on by other sites. And on the Twitter account, they are not acknowledging what is going on. They're just saying, hey, there's a floating string. Oh, by the way, an hour later, you might want to stop streaming if you're streaming from the PS5. The PS5. Finally, they did come around and decide to tweet out something a little more specific, letting you know exactly what was going on. Patch 1.8b has been published. This was the next day, and fixes the issue that was occurring on PS5 where sensitive information was displayed on screen. PS5 players are safe to stream now. But it wasn't until about 1:30 in the afternoon where they actually acknowledged that it was the IP address. So hours after. I mean, just unreal. Unreal, Kronos. Unreal.
Yeah, it baffles me too. It's like someone that works in IT. Are they just storing someone's IP address as plain text somewhere?
Yep.
Well,
I mean, not necessarily, but it would be odd for there to be an encrypt and a decrypt on something that would display in your UI, but that's not
right. Yeah,
I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. It doesn't necessarily mean it's being stored plain text, but it could. Yeah. It could.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not your credit card number, I guess.
I think I'd rather somebody have that.
That's round two. That's round two.
Like, I think I'd rather somebody have that, Tark. Than it's, there's only so much damage you can do with my credit card.
Marvel's Avengers just can't catch a break.
It's not about catching one, though, is it? How about earn one?
Oh my God.
And I know that this was a while ago, but we really didn't talk about it on the show. It was last month. Square had its financials, their financial press conference, or their financial call and everything. And we didn't put it in the show, but just in the interest of updating you on how much of an impact Marvel Avengers might be to Square's bottom line, it came up on this call. where they were talking about write-downs as far as, marking things and losses down for their taxes. Write-downs are the product of our assessment of the likelihood that we will recoup the account's costs based on our future earnings projection as the end of each fiscal year. Major spec changes and other events that take place during the development process can also contribute to write-downs. While Marvel's Avengers, which we launched in September, did not perform to our initial expectations, we were able to achieve our medium-term earnings target of net sales of 300 to 400 billion yen, an operating income of 40 to 50 billion yen, thanks to the expansion of our base of stable recurring income from the MMO and games for smart devices / PC browser subsegments, aka the other parts of the division, helped us make our medium targets in spite of Marvel's Avengers. I will note one more point. Because of how Marvel's Avengers sold in fiscal year 2021 / quarter 3, you may be wary of the risk associated with our future releases. However, as I mentioned a moment ago, because we manage development efforts and earnings project by project and studio by studio, nothing that happens with any one title impacts the others. It is based on that premise that we will build a pipeline that will enable us to consistently generate net sales of 400 to 500 billion yen. AKA, don't worry about that one.
It's okay.
Yeah, don't worry about that one.
We just won't give 14 a bigger budget this expansion around, and we'll make up for that.
Yeah, nothing else is hurting just because that hurt. Everything is fine. The room is on fire, but everything is fine. We're getting a new JRPG mobile game in Japan only right now. Showing a little bit of the trailer down here, Gate of Nightmares. Don't know if it'll ever release West, but I kind of want it to. And even though it's on mobile, I kind of want it to. I want to check it out. The trailer looks pretty sweet, Tark.
I like it. I want it. Heck yeah.
It's got to eventually make its way here, right? I mean, Square is just all about mobile presence right now.
Not everything from there comes over, unfortunately, still.
Yeah, on the mobile front, though, I think they want to. I think they want to.
We'll see.
Looking for beta testers if you're in Japan. Kronos, what'd you think? Looks beautiful, I think.
Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, it's definitely Dragon Quest vibes, right? Which I think it said it's made by like similar people. So
yeah.
I can see why y'all are super into it. I hope it makes it over here
written by Jin Fujisawa, who worked on Dragon Quest 8, 9, and 10. Music is Yashaharu Takanashi, who worked on other animes, Fairy Tail, Log Horizon, Naruto, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool for a mobile game. I hate mobile as a platform. But
yeah, so do I. How about Neo? I know you're excited about this one, Kronos. They had a little bit of a mishap too this week.
That's all.
When they accidentally, from the official Square Enix Twitter account, tweeted a little trailer that ended with a demo date. It said, "Play the new demo now." Coming on June 25th. That was taken down a little while later. That tweet was taken down. However, coming from IGN, there is an update as of today. After yesterday's leak, Square Enix has confirmed that Neo: The World Ends With You will get a demo on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch starting tomorrow, the 25th. In the demo, players will experience the first 2 days of the Reaper's game, introducing players to protagonist Rindo, his friend Fret, and many other stylish and memorable characters. Players will be able to undertake missions, begin their collection of pins, granting various psych, and get a taste of the game's frenetic combat against the mysterious noise, utilizing a variety of flashy combat psych to suit their playstyle. And the demo will allow you to save data to the final version of the game as long as you buy it on the same platform. Checking out the demo tomorrow. Did we just give you something to do, Kronos?
I'll probably check it out tomorrow for sure. I'm surprised there's going to be a lot of transfer. That's usually not super common.
Well, they did that with Outriders, though.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I forgot about Outriders. But I'm thinking like the FF7 remake and other stuff. They've RPGs it. I don't think they've done it with those. But yeah, you're right. They did do it with Outriders. Yeah, so it's cool.
I was like just kind of lukewarm about this one. Then I saw the IGN preview by an author who I share a lot of the same opinions with. So I'm a little more excited about it. I don't know if I'll check out the demo. I'm gonna Mario Golf tomorrow. Have I mentioned that? Mario Golf tomorrow?
Maybe once or twice.
Friday, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio, 7 p.m. Eastern, Mario Golf, right here. Tark, where are you sitting on Neo right now?
I didn't know it was coming out for PlayStation, so I'm probably going to download the demo and see what this is all about.
Cool. So we'll regroup with you 3 months after the game comes out to see how you enjoyed the demo.
To see if I actually
downloaded
it.
Maybe by then you'll have finished the Yuffie DLC too.
Oh, yes, that too. Okay. I should write this down.
Tark's not playing Mario Golf tomorrow.
I'm not playing Mario Golf. I got things to do.
He's got homework. Not a lot of news on this one, but I did want to call your attention to it. Forspoken is working with AMD on a partnership for their graphics quality stuff and their AMD's Fidelity FX super resolution technology and what it can do for open world titles. Not a lot of news here, but if you missed the trailer, go check it out because there are just a few snippets of Forspoken gameplay. Walking around the open world does look beautiful. Does look beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That looks good, yeah.
Look at that, like kind of crouching tiger, hidden dragon moves throughout the trees.
I feel like I watched the trailer for I think it's like a 3-minute trailer. The 2 minutes it just shows the same clip of her like launching off the tree, and I'm just like, okay.
I didn't care.
No, it looks cool. It looks cool though.
So we talked about Elden Ring coming out same month, and we thought that maybe this gets pushed back. What's our percentage rate, you think, that this actually gets pushed back, especially with them needing to
I don't think it gets pushed back. I think I think in that conversation it was which of the two is more likely to get pushed back if one of them did. I personally don't think either gets pushed back.
I think it is going to get pushed back.
You think Forspoken's going to be delayed?
I'd probably give it a pretty high percentage, like probably like in the 70-75 range. I think they're gonna try to avoid, and I just feel like we would have seen something. That's my that biggest thing is like they showed nothing at E3, so it's like I don't know if I have any confidence that it's gonna release in January. Maybe they do though.
I'll put it at a coin toss, 50-50.
Yeah,
I'll put it at a coin toss. Tark, what about you?
I'm leaning 75-80%. It gets pushed back 4 to 6 months.
Damn. Hey, the Nier series is now sold over 7 million copies.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. We'll definitely be getting a new Nier game. Oh, by the way, he's supposed to be at the live letter, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Or the 14-hour stream. I don't remember which.
Oh, yeah, he might be. Yeah, probably the 14-hour, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but, so who knows? We might hear something there. Let's slide over and do Love It or Leave It. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the segment of the show right at the end where I give you something Square Enix related. Could be a game, could be a feature in a game, a press release, a conference like E3, or anything else Square Enix related. And you tell me if you love it, want more of it, or leave it. Just cast it aside. And of course, those of you keeping score at home, let us know in the comments below on ReadyCheckRadio.com or over on our YouTube channel underneath this video. Let us know if you love it or you'll leave it, and why. And if you got questions for the panel that you want to ask us, hey, just throw them down there. I'll bring them to the show. Why not? We've been talking about remasters, a lot of them, whether they be pixel remasters for mobile devices, whether they be Legend of Mana remasters, and that trend is going to continue. So I brought what I think is a little bit of a controversial one, because the game itself has so much love that I don't know how many that honestly love it would want to run the risk of having this one remastered. So I pose it to you, gentlemen. How about a Xenogears remaster? Tarkoth, love the idea? Or you know what? Those memories are too valuable. Leave it.
I love the idea, but this game has a love it / confuse Tark to what the hell the whole second disc is. Because I know that Tetsuya Takahashi had to rush out the final product. He couldn't finish what he started. So while I would love to see it remastered, I feel it needs the love of the second half of the game to justify that. So I'm gonna leave it. I have the game. I'll play it whenever I want. But unless they were to bring Tetsuya back, I just don't see how they do that. So I'm gonna leave it. Love the idea, but I'm gonna leave it.
I'm pretty sure what you put in was the Brave Fencer Musashi demo disc. You didn't actually put in disc 2 of the game. You put in Brave Fencer Musashi. Kronos. No. Tarkoth goes leave it. Love it or leave it.
I'm gonna love it.
Discord is hating you right now for some reason.
Am I like robotic?
Yeah, you're roboting.
Crap.
I'll go and give you a chance to catch up here real quick. I will.
Exactly right.
I told you I'm the one that typed the show notes, and I was like, I still don't know how I'm gonna answer this. I gotta go with love it. I just have to give it a shot. Like I have the game was tremendous. I still have played the PlayStation 1 discs as recently as within the last 2 years. I would love to see it, and not Square related, but sticking with Xeno, right? I would like to see Xeno Saga remade as well, but that's a different story. That's not Square. Xenogears, I gotta go with love it. It's too special that I would not want to, I wouldn't want to miss out on a chance to see that remastered. But I am also kind of getting sick of the whole remastered cycle at this point. It's like there are a reason those games have the value they do to me. And if I'm just going to play them in 4K at, my early 40s here, well, I guess 40. Is that early 40s? Like, does it count? I don't know. Like, do I have to be 41 to be in my early 40s? I don't know.
Yes.
I do? Okay.
Right
all right. But I'm not in my late 30s now either. So, yeah, that's weird. 40. Anyway.
You're just old.
Am I just going to play it in 16K in my 60s? Like, and then 50K in my 80s, God willing?
Oh.
I don't know. But absolutely, I think I got to go with love it. Kronos, Discord has caught up. You are good.
So I'm going to go with love it as well. I like this. I like the game. Xenosaga, not as much, but I love Xenogears, so I would definitely play it. I am a little bit tired of the remasters, like you said too. It's getting a little bit too much to an extent. I'd say the only thing that they could make that would really harm my opinion on something is I don't think a game like Chrono Trigger deserves to be remade. Like that one, I'd probably leave, but for this one, absolutely. A lot of PS1 era stuff, I think, kind of deserves a little bit of a remaster.
Vagrant Story. Put Vagrant Story remake, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, I love Vagrant Story. Ridiculous PlayStation 1 hair. It was just tremendous. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Of course, we'll be back next week with a whole bunch of new information and maybe a new host, since now I know that Kronos doesn't like Xenosaga.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said I didn't like it as much as Xenogears.
It's too late. It's too late. Okay, you can't. Trust has been broken, and once broken, Kronos.
we'll play Guilty Gear for control of the show.
There you go.
For control of the show. Wow.
That seems like it absolutely will work in my favor. Parasite Eve remake sold? Yeah, we already talked about that one when we talked about E3. That absolutely needs to be remade. Chat, don't go anywhere. Right after the show today, we'll be going live with Miss Faye Death. How are you, Faye?
Oh, hey.
The stash is back.
The stash is back. You know what that means. Back to Outer Worlds goodness.
You trying to get that done before Outer Worlds 2 comes out, because you got your ass surprised at E3 with that announcement.
I did. I really did. It was like, oh, I had no idea this was a thing that I could look forward to. Excellent. It was one of those, it would be really cool to see, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like it would happen. I was like, oh. I'm very pleased, and we absolutely have to make it through before it launches. Because you know we're doing that here.
I finished the game. I did not play the DLC, though. So if you jump into the DLC, you need to let me know.
We'll do.
Because I haven't played that yet, so maybe we can team up for that stuff.
Totally down. That's why tonight we got to buckle down, chew through some content.
Stay tuned, chat. Faye will be live in just a few minutes after the show here, and you can hang out. bring your mustache. They are required. We will, of course, be back next Thursday with another Relic Grind. Of course, you can hit us up on Tuesday or Saturday at 7 p.m. for our other 2 podcasts, Snowbound, the Blizzard podcast, or Gaming Gumbo, the general gaming podcast as well. And tell your friends, come on over, give us all those follows. Until then, Kronos, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, same as always. Twitter, a little bit less Final Fantasy XIV stuff on there, but if you want to play some Guilty Gear or learn that stuff, I've been posting a lot of stuff for that, and I've been streaming it a little bit, as well as like Advance Wars, trying to make it through those games. So, yeah.
Awesome. Tarkoth?
You can find me on Twitter at Tarkoth Gaming, on Twitch at Tarkoth Gaming, where I'm going to be playing the Neo demo and Final Fantasy VII Remakes Yuffie DLC. I promise.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at MagicMan1. But more importantly, follow at RC Raideo so you get tweets every time we go live with a podcast, or one of our lovely volunteer streamers who I love very much is hanging out, ready for you to come chill and do some gaming. Stay safe. See you on the server.